What's up, everybody? It's Kenny Cummins here. Joining me is a singer-songwriter from Nashville, Tennessee. She's got her latest single, "Never Again," that's out on all the platforms, and she's got a new song on the way, and we're gonna talk about that. And for the love of God, I hope I pronounce your name, like your last name, correctly.
It's a
So
K sound.
I'll give it a shot here. I'm joined with Angela Parchetta.
So close. So close. It's
Uh,
okay. Parchetta.
Parchetta. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That was a little tricky there, I
I
guess.
know. I know.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Of
Appreciate you.
course. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So prior to me hitting the record button, I felt like you're playing magic tricks over there with the. I see the microphone, then I don't see it. So I'll try to
Oh, because the blur. Because
the
there's the
blur.
blur. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the effects there. So
Yes.
so I'll try to concentrate here as I am asking you these questions here. So talk about as far as how did you get started in music?
So I started singing when I was 4. I started doing voice lessons when I was 4 years old, and I sang all through, elementary school and middle school. I joined choir in high school, and in high school, that was when I started like playing guitar and writing music and playing piano and things like that. And then I ended up going to college for music education, and I became a middle school and choir teacher, and I also do songwriting and singing. So I've just been doing this for as long as I can remember.
Mm. So not only are you a singer songwriter, I see that you're also a vocal coach as
Yes.
well.
Yes, I am.
So talk about the vocal coach side of things. You just training artists, up and coming artists, trying to make sure voice control, taking good care of the singing voice. Talk about you being a vocal coach.
So yeah, it's just, working one-on-one with singers who are, looking to either just, strengthen their voice or learn from the ground up, basics type stuff. I work with all ages, everyone, anyone who wants to like be better at singing or wants to protect their voice. I work with and I help them with anything that they have. So if it's just weekly strength training for their voice or, getting ready for a big gig that might be coming up, I work one on one with them to do that.
So do you do like in person coaching or do you do like coaching through a platform like Zoom?
So I do both. So I do in person, but I do a lot of like Zoom lessons with people all around the country. So it's pretty cool. It's cool what technology lets you do.
Yeah, technology, has its ups and downs, but it's definitely something that's been used a lot, especially since the pandemic and we had to be at home,
Yes.
2020. That year felt like an eternity ago at this point.
I know.
Just
It was so much, but technology definitely stepped up, and technology is great until it isn't. And then and then it's really hard. But I love being able to use Zoom and Google Meet and like all of those platforms to reach people that I wouldn't be able to if I didn't, if we didn't have it.
okay. So, who are some of your musical influences? Those artists that have inspired you? It could be mainstream, it could be independent artists who have inspired you.
So anyone who knows me knows the answer to this question, and it is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has inspired me so much, and I know that that can be taken all sorts of ways, but she really like when she we are close to the same age, me and her. So when she came onto the scene, I was in high school and I was just starting to, get into music and like music songwriting type stuff, not just voice lessons and things like that. And I remember she came into the music scene, and it was the first time that I saw someone that reminded me of me It wasn't like she worked really hard to get to where she was. She played guitar and stood up there and just like walked up and down Music Row and like made it happen. And I was like, cool. So if she can do that, so can I. And so I went to Walmart and bought a pink plastic guitar from like the kids' music instrument section for like 80 bucks and like taught myself how to play guitar so that I could like accompany myself on my own songs and stuff like that. So she also was a big influence because she was the first person that I had ever really listened to that was like legitimately calling people out. Like just like names, dates, receipts, all of it. Just like and this New Yorker was like, "Yes, let's just call him out." So, I don't know, it was refreshing. It was a refreshing break from a lot of just like cookie cutter like boy bands and girl bands and just she blended through all different genres and it was really nice to see the music industry change in a way that kind of blended a lot together. And I truly believe that her and a couple other artists were at the forefront of that.
I'm talking to a New Yorker. I see, New
You
York
are.
native. Okay,
Yes.
what area of New York are you from?
I'm from Albany. I'm from the
Albany.
capital.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, the capital, it
From the capital.
capital.
Yes.
So Taylor Swift, what people may, well, mostly the younger fans may not know is that she started country.
She
She
did.
she she started country, moved her way to pop. Next thing you know, she's doing folk music and other genres. She's definitely have grown on me in the
Yes.
last few years. I've already admired Taylor for who she is as a person, for what she stands up for. So she always got my respect as
Yes.
a human being. The music, I may have danced to a Taylor Swift song here and there.
They're
I
catchy.
ain't gonna lie. I ain't
They're
gonna lie.
catchy.
Especially at work and coworkers look at me like, "You dancing to a Taylor Swift song?" Like, uh, yeah, she's talented. You know, it don't matter what genre it is. I'm more of a musical unicorn at this point of my
Yes.
life. I've listened to
Yes.
all sorts of music. This is a multi-genre program. I've interviewed people of different genres, different walks of life, upcoming, established, not mainstream as because I ain't got the budget for that. But Taylor Swift is an incredible artist.
She
She's
really
definitely
is.
one of the most successful artists of this generation. Um, and she's a certified G to me. She is certified G, and I'm gonna tell you how she is certified G. She was going through the issues with her with Scooter, her agent,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
the old music she put out. And once she got that settled, she said, "You know what? I know these albums have had success, but I'm gonna re-release it, and I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it." And then those albums went on to win platinum and stuff.
Yep.
So she is certified G to me.
She really is.
She's
She's amazing.
yeah,
She's just because she was like, well, these are my songs, so I want to own them. I want
yeah,
to own them. So she
yeah.
figured it out.
It's definitely a reminder if you do take the mainstream route, better you better not just do your music, but take care of it
Right.
because somebody else can just sneak up and take it away from you.
Yes.
And so it's people are just so eager to get into that mainstream that they don't learn stuff until it's too late.
Right.
So just little bit of nugget information there.
Yeah.
uh I want to talk about this catchy song that from you
Yes.
uh the song you put out, your latest release, is Never Again.
Yes.
Talk about that track, the story behind it.
So I wrote this song with my songwriter friend Nikki Forbes. We wrote it here in Nashville last December. It was actually the first song that I wrote after moving to Nashville. And Nikki at the time was in a songwriting like group, and so they got prompts every week. And she came over and I was like, "Well, do you have any prompts?" And she was like, "Yeah, I have one." And then the other one was just the word houseplants. So like we started talking about houseplants and just like what do you have to like what type of person do you have to be to have houseplants? And like, then we started talking about how like we're not the type of people who can have houseplants. Like they die and that kind of thing. And then we kind of stopped and we were like, wow, isn't it interesting that we just quickly count ourselves out? Like we just quickly say, no, we're not that type of person. Like, no, probably not going to be successful at that. So let's just not. And it morphed into this idea of you don't have to, like, what would happen if you just did it? Like, what would happen if you didn't second guess yourself? What if everything you've always wanted is within your reach? Don't count yourself out. And Never Again was born. So it's just a anthem about don't second guess yourself, don't break your own promises. You deserve all the things that you want in life and more, and just go for it. Just work for it and get it done and be smart about it, but make sure you chase your dreams. So that's where Never Again came from. It literally came from the word house plants. So
Houseplants. Gotcha. Nice, nice analogy there.
yeah.
Um, so I see you got your next single coming out on August 26th.
Yes.
The name of the song is called Like You Want Me To. That will be, you can pre-save it, pre-order it right now on the platforms. It'll be out this coming week.
Yes.
So let's talk about the story behind this particular song.
So, Like You Want Me To was written when I was still living back in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it was 4th of July. So, it was 2 4th of Julys ago. And my dog has severe anxiety with like loud noises. So, I'm sitting in my apartment, the fireworks are going off outside. My dog is freaking out, and I'm just like trying to console her. And while I'm listening to these fireworks, I'm like, fireworks are really like big and bright and exciting and used for celebratory times. And usually, if you see them, you stop and you're like, wow, look at that. But fireworks are only like that if you're at a distance. Like, if you get too close to fireworks, they're not beautiful or exciting anymore. They're just really dangerous. So, it's best to keep your distance from them. And I started thinking, like, that's actually a pretty good metaphor and like idea for toxic people and like narcissistic people and just like people who look really fun and great and like wow, they're amazing and admired from far away, but once you get pulled in and you're like with them, they're really toxic and really dangerous. So I wrote the whole song from the viewpoint of someone who's been through that cycle a lot of times and finally has learned that just because you want me to want you doesn't mean I have to. So it's this whole idea of like, I don't want you the way you want me to. So that's the song. It's very synth pop. It's very like, I would say Bleachers. So like Jack Antonoff meets like American Authors meets Reputation era Taylor Swift. Like all that mixed together is this song. And there's one specific part. The reason I put like American Authors in there is because there's one specific part in the chorus that I'm like, this would be in it. This would be an American Author song. Like, so, but it's like a perfect song to transition out of summer into fall. It's that perfect vibe. So that's why I was like, I'm releasing it at the end of August. Like, it's gonna like flow right into September. It's gonna be great. It's just, I'm so excited for this song. I wrote it with my friend Lindsay Popa, and it was produced by Jacob Ishler here in Nashville. Um, but yeah, I'm so excited.
One thing I'm learning about Angela here is that she's very, very clever with these analogies. Very, very clever, very witty with these metaphors. which definitely is very enlightening. It's very intriguing, especially if you're a songwriter putting these words together. So I love your recent release song, and I have a
Thank you.
feeling I'm going to love this song too. Especially the that's this I guess this is your summer wrap up song, I guess you could
Yes.
say. The
Yes.
uh, Summer's been real, but we about to get to this hoodie season.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you can pre-save it, pre-order it right now. It'll be out this coming week, August 26th.
Yes.
So with these being independent artists, these artists will really appreciate you go ahead and hit that pre-save. You know,
Yes.
especially follow them on the site so that when the 26th rolls around at midnight, they'll be right there in your playlist there.
Yes.
So definitely stay tuned for that. So with this new song on the way, Angela, what's next for you as far as could we potentially have more singles, maybe a songs leading up to an EP, maybe some upcoming shows? What's next for you as we approach the fall season?
So I have two more songs coming out this year. I set a goal at the beginning of 2022 that I would have four singles, that I would release four singles, and I'm so excited for the next two. I'm not going to say too much about them, but just know that they're coming. And then I'm going to be playing some writers' rounds here in Nashville. All of my dates for shows and things are on my website. If anyone is local and they want to come out and see what I'm doing, feel free to check me out, musicbyange.com. And yeah, I'm just going to keep writing. I'm going to keep co writing with as many people as possible and just really try to write as much as I can.
So that's awesome, especially with the songwriter songs.
Yeah.
Those are very those are special type shows to me. Because not only you get to hear these artists perform them, but you actually get to hear the story behind
Yes.
the songs. So what's that like? Just being part, being selected, being a part of these shows with fellow musicians.
It's amazing. It's just so cool to be able to sit on a stage and listen to songs that other people have written and get inspired, find new people to write with and be friends with and share your own stories and your own songs. It's a great place to try out new songs. So a lot of times I will use songwriting rounds to kind of like I'll write new material and I'll bring it to the audience and see how they like it. And based on their reaction, I'll either retweak it, rewrite it, or be like, okay, cool, I can like start working on production for it and things like that. It's always fun to just like share the story behind the song because you get a deeper understanding, a deeper like love for it. So that's my favorite part is just being a part of like the community in the show and then also being able to connect with new people and like new audience members.
So you definitely got the music thing patted down. You have performed some incredible songs. You got this passion. You got this drive. You got this good attitude about you. Um, what would your advice be to the up and coming artists? Like, for example, the ones that you work with as a vocal coach. What would your advice be to those that want to that wants to be a recording artist? What would your advice be?
My advice to them is don't expect it to happen overnight and don't be discouraged when it doesn't. So, what I mean by that is a lot of times as artists, we're our biggest critic, we're our biggest, stumbling block, and we like to compare ourselves to what other people are doing. And sometimes it looks like other people are becoming overnight successes, but really they've put in years and years and years of work beforehand. So, I like to tell new artists especially from my own experience of going through that comparison journey and feeling like, okay, well, I'm more like I'm doing all of this stuff. Why does it not feel like I'm moving forward? And I like to tell new artists, like, you just have to keep putting the work in. You have to keep doing all of the things you know that you're supposed to do, and it's going to like if you're doing it the way you're supposed to, it's gonna work. You're gonna get there. Just keep going. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. You can only be the best you can be. So make sure when you're in a room with someone who you feel like is, a better songwriter or a better singer or whatever, don't think, oh, well, they're better than me, so I'm just not going to do it. Like, I'm never going to be that good. Think, okay, well, how can I, like, let me go talk to them. Let me see if they'll write with me. Let me see, like, who their vocal coach is. Like, let me try to see how they can teach me so that I can get better. Not necessarily, oh, they're better than me. Why can't I be better? Like that vibe. Just keep your mindset positive, keep your mindset healthy, and don't be afraid of the work. Don't feel like because you're working hard at something, it means you're not, a success, an overnight success. That would be my advice to the younger generation of artists.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice, especially if an artist. And I guess this goes back to what we was talking about Taylor. Um, she started at a young age. She figuring out who she is as an artist, what direction she wanted to go. Once she figured it out, she took off like a rocket, literally.
Right.
Um, so it's just music thing. You're gonna go through ups and downs. You're gonna you're gonna you're gonna go through times when people say no.
Right.
But that should be looked at as a fuel for motivation. It just definitely makes you wanna write more songs and record these songs and see where it takes you. Um,
Exactly.
so so it's music it's fun, it's intriguing. It can be challenging at times too. So
Yes.
especially to the young artists, you know, follow your heart. Do what's best for you. Trying to figure out who you want to be. Don't look at what others. Try and focus on your style. Focus on your sound. See, try to figure out who you want to be.
Exactly.
So, and since you are a Tay Tay fan, this is my next question. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song? What's your
Oof.
favorite Taylor Swift album? This is what I
Okay.
want to know.
So my favorite Taylor Swift albums, that's easy. Okay, easy. Hands down 1989.
Okay.
I love that album. I loved that tour. That was my first Taylor Swift concert that I ever got to go to was the 1989 tour. That was like I still listen to that like just on repeat. I can't wait for her to re-release it. Like it's definitely my favorite. Now, favorite song. That's a little more difficult. And it changes from day to day. But I really, I, I really like the song "Long Live." That song I always kind of come back to it. "Long Live" and "Haunted." Those two. "Long Live" I love because she wrote it to her band. It was like a song of like tribute to her band, saying like "Long live all the things that we did," basically, and saying like I'll stand like even if we part ways someday, like please remember me because I'm gonna remember you. Like it's this whole like really sweet song that she wrote for her band. And then "Haunted," I really just liked the vibe of it. It was like it was like dark. It was like one of her first like kind of dark songs, and her vocal range is really cool in it. Um, so I guess like right now those are the two, and it's probably because we're going into fall, so I'm not like big poppy right now, but like 1989 100% as an album is my favorite. Is my absolute favorite album of hers.
I definitely have to agree with you with the album 1989. I think she's one of the few artists to have 1 million in the first week multiple times.
Yeah.
Um, And that's during times when album sales have declined.
Right.
And we've become more of a streaming, that's become the go-to
Right.
platform as far as people listen to their music. Now, I'll still buy some CDs, most notably from independent artists,
Yeah.
because I feel like these mainstream artists, they'll be okay. They'll be all right.
Oh
They,
yeah,
they,
they're gonna be fine. They'll
they'll
be
be
just
fine.
fine.
So, as far as the song, this may be a little biased. Bad Blood.
That's a good one.
Um, I like that one because it has my favorite rapper on that track. That's
Kendrick
Kendrick
Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I personally like the remix better than the original.
yeah.
I really enjoyed
I
the
mean,
remix.
if you were to tell me Kendrick Lamar were to be on a pop record,
I
I
know.
would have said to you, no way.
I know.
R&B artist, soul artist, I say yeah. Pop artist, and then I heard the song with Taylor and K Dot. I was like, he made it work.
I know.
He
I
made it
I
work.
was I was like, wow. I was like, and that's like what I love about her. It's like she just is everywhere. And
Yeah,
like it's just I feel like she was one of the first artists to really try to bring the music industry together and kind of bridge the gaps between all of the different genres cuz back in the early 2000s and like the 90s and everything was very like you are a country artist fan or you are a pop music fan or you are a rap like person or you are whatever, and it's like you never crossed. And if you did, it was like a huge deal,
yeah.
or you like were a sellout or something, and then like that started, like she started and like, I don't know, I guess like I don't really know who else, but her, right? Like she came in and she was like, all right, well, let's just do this. Like, why don't we collaborate? Like, I was like, I love that. So,
And here's what else I'll say about Taylor. I love how she be like I see her award shows, and when she see a hip hop artist perform, she always on her seat jamming. I'm
yes.
like, Tay Tay going,
And
hey,
she's
like,
always like really going for it too.
yeah,
It's like she's always got some good content
she
after
got
an
fire.
award show with Taylor.
Yeah, she when I think it was the Grammys and the Forever song came out. They performed
Mm-hmm.
Drake, Eminem, Lil Wayne, Kanye. I think it was Kanye. Yeah, that I guess that was
That
they
was
had
when
that.
they were, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then
That was when they were
uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, that was okay, all right.
Yeah.
But she was jamming through the whole song,
Yeah.
and I was like, she's invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
Yeah, she in the
Yeah.
cookout.
Yeah.
She there. She give her some corn, hot
Yep.
dogs, give her all that. She welcome in the cookout.
I
Um,
love that.
and
Yes.
and on that note, thank you, Angela, for being on the show tonight. Great chatting with you. Had a fascinating conversation with you. Go check out her song that's coming out this coming week
Yeah.
on the 26th, Like You Want Me To.
Yes.
That's coming out this coming week on the 26th, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, Angela. Continued success, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye bye.